and welcome back to the mini weekend. I'm your host, Jack. Let's get into it, man. Whoa, that's very good. Holy smokes, that is very, very good. Here we are, the mini weekend. First thing up on the docket, Drink of the Podcast. Once again, for those that are new, we got 10 things to talk about with you guys tonight. And the first thing, like I just mentioned, Drink of the Podcast, that will not go away. Love doing it. And once again, we are coming at you guys with a drink that I swear we've had before, but looking on my spreadsheet, it is not there. So we are doing Buddy's Orange Soda, and wow, the vibrant color. This is almost better than Fanta in my prediction. Yes, very good, very thirst quenching. On the website, it says Buddy's extract begins with the real orange juice, and the soda is lightly carbonated. Its flavor is reminiscent of the taste of sun-drenched oranges on a clear day. Truly is. You can enjoy Buddy's Orange straight from the bottle or over ice served with a slice of orange. It's also a great mixer and poured over vanilla ice cream as a float. You create a dreamsicle second to none. And I believe it. It is very good. For those that are interested, this is, like I said, Buddy's sodas. They were originally out of New Ulm, but it looks like right now they're out of Sleepy, Minnesota, which is about 50, mainly west and a little north from Mankato, so not super far south. And a little bit opposite to our friends over at Northern Soda Co. They're actually closed Saturdays and Sundays and are open Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. So definitely go check them out. I urge you to go to their website. It's just Buddy's, BUDDYS, Sodas, SODAS.com. They don't have a ton of social media. They do have a Facebook page that I know of. And other than that, they really don't have any social media. So I urge you guys to go check their website out. They also have some cool merch, and it's worth noting they're currently having a sale right now, 25% off on all of their clothing. The discount is applied in the card, it says. But they got some really cool. It's been a while since we've done them. Really cool sweatshirts, some stickers, a glass, a shirt, and even some kids' little trinkets stuff as well. So you can find some recipes, like I've said before when we've done them. Very straightforward and simple website, but very, very good sodas. Let's put it to the test now. Gosh, that's very good. I think I'm going to have to go 9.2. It's very crisp, like I said. One of the things I really like about it is the lightly carbonation of it. It's not overly carbonated. It's not insane, but it's also enough that you know it's like a soda. It's not just like orange juice. Very good. I really like it. Let me know what you guys think about this one. And I think with that, between they have a lemon sour, a strawberry, a grape, and then the orange. I think between the four, this is my favorite based off those rankings and the best. So let me know what your guys' order is. I believe mine is orange, grape, lemon sour, strawberry. Let me know what you guys think, and we'll go from there. Next up, we have the second thing we got to talk about is St. Thomas or UST's professional hockey signing. So with that, yes, this last weekend, the men's hockey team was eliminated from the CCHA playoffs. The Mavericks got on the board just over 6 minutes into the game. Dylan Godbout would score the lone goal for the Tommies to tie it up 1-1 at the end of the first. But then the Mavericks would score a second period goal and a third period goal to jump up to a 3-1 lead before they would score a very late power play goal to seal the deal. Yeah, D1. So it is also worth noting, one of the things I wanted to look into. So the unfortunate thing is the CCHA only got one bid. Unfortunately, the Big Ten, NCHC were both very good this year, along with the ECAC and the Hockey East. It's bad news for us this year because they didn't get a bid. It's good news for us going forward because, like I said, the NCHC received 4 bids, which means the NCHC, they got Denver was the they won the whole conference, and they got the 1 seed in Western Michigan. 2 Denver got the 2 seed, and that Western Michigan got the nod from there. North Dakota got the nod, and Minnesota Duluth as well. So it really sucks that the Tommies didn't make it, but things happen, and they're going to be in a more highly competitive conference next year. So if they have a year this next year like they did this year, they should have no problem getting to this year's tournament. But yeah, like I said, it's really awesome to see a handful of guys sign professional contracts after that happened. So what was that? Just 4 days after, forward Alex Gaffney signed with an AHL contract for the 2020 season, in addition to an amateur tryout for the remainder of this season. With the Hershey Bears, Gaffney played in 38 games across one season, scoring 18 goals and becoming the third player in D1 history to tally a 40-point season. So a huge congratulations to him. Then the day after that, Lucas Wallen, the first Tommy to sign an NHL contract, would sign a 1-year, 2-way contract with Winnipeg Jets of the National Hockey League. A 3-time captain, St. Thomas captain, played in 137 games across 4 seasons for the Tommies, scoring 56 goals, finishing with 131 points for the Purple, both D1 program records. He became the first Tommy to surpass 100 career points and reach 50 goals during the D1 era, and concluded his career as the all-time leading scorer in the current iteration of the CCHA. A huge congratulations to him, and obviously cannot wait to see him in action with the Winnipeg Jets, despite them being in the Central Conference or the Central Division. The day after, they saw Cage Sturger, another forward for the team, sign with the Hartford Wolfpack of the AHL. Very similar to Alex Gaffney. His contract is for the 26-27 season, in addition to an amateur tryout for the rest of the season. He played in 72 games across 2 seasons for the Tommies, scoring 10 goals and 29 points total. So a huge congratulations to him. And then the last Tommy so far to sign a professional contract was today, and it was defenseman Hayes Hundley. He signed a 3-year entry-level contract with the Toronto Maple Leafs of the NHL. He appeared in 38 games in his lone season with us, scoring 6 goals and 7 assists. 6 goals and 6 assists for 12 points, He earned CCHA All-Rookie Team honors after posting a +10 rating on the blue line, a 4th best mark among conference rookies. And he became the first St. Thomas defenseman in program history to sign an NHL contract. So a huge congratulations to all 4 guys. Cannot wait to see how they tear it up in the pros. Like I said, huge congratulations to all of them. Next up, once again, recapping and kind of updating you guys on March Madness. Right now, Alabama and Michigan are going at it. Just under 2 minutes to play. Michigan has an 87-74 lead. On the team. And I apologize. A couple of you have reached out. I have not posted an update on seating and everything for our group. We had 39 total people, 39 brackets this year. So I'm thinking we will probably do the top 8 will get paid out through the first game, the Duke and St. John's game. Through the first game, number 1 is Daisy 2, lone possession of first place with 650 points. That type deals picks 4 is in second with 640. Chicken Dinner exclamation point is in lone of 3, third place with 630. And then there's a 3-way tie. There's B Instagram, TB2 Scully, and A Instagram TB2 Scully. Both of theirs are with 620 points, as well as Sully 2 with 620 points. Seventh place, Daisy 1 with 610 points, and then 8th place, sole place of that is ESPN Fan 18211489112's picks or something like that with 600 points. I'm technically tied with him for 8th, but I'm obviously not going to pay myself out any merch. I got some stuff that I gotta rock for you guys. And actually, next week I should rock one of my mini weekend t-shirts so you guys can know what you are playing for, or one of the things that you can pick from and play for. But that's how things are going so far. And if I'm being completely honest, this year, other than Iowa, this year, I gotta say, there haven't been an abundance or too many upsets in the tournament. You know, obviously, you know, no ones or twos going in the first round. You saw a couple fives get upset, a couple fours get upset. I think right now the biggest upset was Iowa over Florida. And but yeah, I was gonna say, so far the game, this March Madness has been pretty chalk. Most of the higher seeds have won. But if I'm being completely honest with you guys, like, I don't like if a 9 beats a 8, or if a 5 beats a 4, or if you have like a 2 versus a 3. I don't really consider they technically are because they're lower seeds, but I don't really consider that like a upset. Like if a 4 is beating a 2, or if a 3 is beating a 1 in the final 4, yeah, I might consider that. But usually for me, I consider upsets if it's separated by 2 seeds. So, you know, if you're having a 10 beating a 7, you know, a 11 beating a 6, something like that. So yeah, it's been a fun tournament so far, and it'll be interesting to see of the elite, I mean, Sweet 16, 15 teams. Technically, Michigan just won. 14 teams remaining. Who gets it? You obviously have 3 of the top 1 seeds still left. It'll be an interesting and fun way to go. So that's the third thing we had to talk to you guys about tonight. And then, just like always, our really, really good friends, Unreal. I want to give them a shout out. Tonight, with the start of the season, we are rocking our Minnesota. You can't see it that great because it's all great, but all of it is raised. It says Minnesota up here with the Northern Star. Twins down there, Unreal back here, hoodie, and the Navy. The Navy over the pouch on the bottom too. And it was, let me check here, because I sometimes forget the crossover and the crossover 2 hoodie. It's there, just a Twins crossover hoodie, and it was the first drop. From last year. Super comfortable, super easy wear, love it. And then the hat that we're rocking tonight, is the Loon Mid Pro Snapback Special Edition. It's got the simple UNRL Gulf, but it's got the really cool rope with Loon logo kind of stuff on it. So really, really love that, and I think it's awesome. And then a couple of things, honestly, that we have to look forward to, and you guys you have to look forward to as well. They dropped just a couple days ago. The 24th was the US, the 126th open capsule. I think they have let's see here. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kinds of hats, two shirts, 2 ultra hooded long sleeves, 2 polos, 2 quarter zips, 3 crew necks, 2 crossover 2 hoodies, or 2 crossover 2 hoodies, 3 elevation hoodies, and then their new Terra Blend hoodie. And it looks like, as of right now, that Terra Blend hoodie I just mentioned is the only thing that is completely sold out. So if you're interested in getting any of these items, you can still go on. It's still possible for you to get them. I do want to let you guys know, because they reached out to me and let me know. But so for the hats, just be patient. They're on a delayed shipment notice. It says on their website, it even tells you this product will ship on a delayed timeline and is expected to be shipped by 3/27. Some of them are 4/27, 3/27, 3/27. 3/27. So just, I think a couple more other than that one. There were a couple that were 4/27, so just keep your eyes on them, because obviously if you don't want to have to be upset with them if you misread it. But yeah, we got that to look forward to. A couple more collaborations that they got coming up. Tomorrow they have the Ode to Prince, almost, it looks like, in arena exclusive. Looks so cool. I wish I could go to the game and get one of them, but unfortunately I will not be able to. But they look super comfy. If anybody watching it is going there and is able to get me a hat, I would love that. Let me know. Reach out. Let me know. But yeah, there's that. And then on the 21st, we have the UNRL and Twins another UNRL and Twins and Twins collab. You can join the waitlist if you go on there. Opening day, first game of the limited edition release will be available online on 3/31, and then at Target Field on 4/3, which is pretty cool. And if you go on, there's a couple of sneak peeks, and it looks like it's a white base with a little bit of red. Man, that looks nice. I'm not gonna lie. So, but then, yeah, like I said before, I let you guys go. Like I say, I say it every single time, and I'll say it until I'm blue in the face. Unreal. Their products really are unreal. All of their clothing, athleisure, is top of the line as far as I'm concerned. They have stuff that you can wear to work, things that you can wear lounging around the house, and everything in between. Especially golf, working out, lounging around the house, you name it. And their products are super comfortable. You know what you're getting from them. Very rarely have I had issues with needing a different size or something happening to them, but in the few instances I've had those instances, it's super easy. You can go online, it's super easy to return it, get a size up, size down, return it, get something different. Truly just a company that is just amazing and really awesome to work with and purchase from. So I highly recommend them. For those that are interested, if you go to the link in my YouTube description, you can get $15 off your first order and accruing points that you can use on future orders as well. And yeah, like I always say, let them know their friends at the mini weekend sent you guys. Unreal.com. You can find them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. So yeah, that's what I got for you guys for Unreal this week. Then, like I said, we briefly just kind of brought up the Twins, but that we'd really highlight. I think it's really dumb. By the way, it seems like I think it's been about the last 3 to 5 seasons. The Twins have their first season opening game on the Wednesday, the Thursday, whatever, and then they have a day off between their first and second game of the season. It's the stupidest fucking thing in the world. I think it's bullshit. I think it's stupid. But anyway, before we kind of recap that really quickly, wanted to just let you guys know, for anybody out there that did not see my video on TikTok, I placed a $25 bet on Bovada to win $60 for the Twins to win more than 72.5 games this season. I want to be very clear, this is not me saying we're going to be the kings of the AL Central or even be good. I really do believe we will not make the playoffs and we're not going to be a great team. I just think this team being able to be around 800, being around 500 for the year is still being bad enough, but also like very reasonable. And with that, we're going to start a series where we follow along for every winning game we got going on. So obviously they didn't win yesterday, but please pay close attention to X and Instagram, as we're going to be noting every single win getting up to this, because this is something we're super excited for. The 2 Yahoos that we do our mini pick'ems with and for our NFL picks both think they're going to lose or win less than 72.5 games. So help prove me wrong and come to my defense. Let's do this thing. So yeah, yesterday was very much, we lost by a score of 1-2. It was very much of a pitching outing between Trevor Rogers and Joe Ryan. Trevor Ryan threw 7 shutout innings, only allowing 3 hits, 4 walks. That included 5 strikeouts. On the other side for the Twins, Joe Ryan lasted 5.1 innings, only gave up 1 hit, striking out 7 and walking 2, which is unbelievable. It was actually, Cody Funderburk that got the loss, as he gave up a hit, on earned run, and a walk, all in his 0.2 innings that he pitched. The game only saw 10 total hits, 5 from each team, so not a ton of hitting. Nobody on the Twins actually registered more than just 1 hit. Luke Keschel recorded the only RBI, hitting in Byron Buxton after Buxton hit a 8th inning triple in the 8th, but in the bottom of the 7th, the Baltimore Orioles scored 2 runs that ended up being enough to win the game for them. And then now the Twins will try to get back in the winning ways. They will have 1, 2, 3 straight games before being off the last day of March. And they will come home, like I said, for their season home opener on April 3rd for their first home game against the Tampa Bay Devil Rays. So that's what we got for the Twins. Sixth up, we have one of the things I wanted to talk to you guys was this magic win that the Wolves had over the Houston Rockets. And this game took place a couple nights ago on Wednesday, March 25th. And let's start just with the basics. So the Timberwolves posted the NBA's largest overtime comeback on record. So before we go into specifics, I want to just start by saying this. Superstar Anthony Edwards was sidelined for the fifth straight game with some knee trouble. Backup Ayo Dosunmu was out too with a sore calf. And then to add insult to injury, Jaden McDaniels, who had 25 points and great defense throughout the game, was hobbled and left the game in the fourth quarter and had to be pulled out. Rudy Gobert, who had an impressive 14 points, 14 rebounds at 5 block games, fouled out before overtime. And then in early overtime, Naz Reid was ejected for voicing his displeasure about a call. So the Wolves were arguably without 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of probably their top 8 players, and they still ended up beating the Houston Rockets 115 to 113 as Julius Randle led a 15-0 run to end overtime to win the game. But strangely enough, the Timberwolves found themselves trailing by 13 points less than 2 minutes into overtime. So you heard that right. To start overtime, the Houston Rockets went on a 13-0 run. And if I'm being completely honest with you guys, part of the reason I wanted to bring this up was because I watched some of this game, and I'm glad I turned it on when I did, because you guys know I do not complain that much about reffing, but holy shit was Scott Foster and this crew on some shit this game. It was the most ridiculously called fourth quarter I had ever seen. It was almost like if you were watching this game as and obviously I was watching it as a Wolves fan, but if you were just a basketball fan that wasn't really a Rockets fan, but also really wasn't a Wolves fan, you could clearly tell. It almost looked like they got a call from Adam Silver saying, hey, the Houston Rockets need to win this game. I don't know what you need to do, make it happen. There was probably about a 7 or 8 minute stretch late in the fourth quarter where it was like anything or any call that needed to happen for Houston just fucking happened, because there were two plays that were challenged, one by the Timberwolves, one by the Houston Rockets. One of them was a a Wolves charge versus a blocking call for the Houston Rockets. It was called a charge on the Wolves, and we challenged it. And you could see in the replay that he was moving, and he had put his foot down. Şengün had put his foot down and was still sliding his body over by the time that Jaden or whoever it was went into him. And with his body moving, that's a blocking foul. So they were talking about that shouldn't take too long. They upheld it and called it a charge. There was another instance that Julius Randle was going up a screen, and it was just called a common foul. Shouldn't have even been anything great. But per the Houston Rockets request, they looked at it for a flagrant call, and this was with just under 2 minutes to go, and we were up by 6. This gets called. All of a sudden, they upgraded to a flagrant 2 call. They get 1 foul, they get 1 free throw, and then the ball back. What happens is they score the free throw, then they get a 3-pointer, 4-point play. Then the very next play, we throw a careless pass, or they get some kind of a turnover, and then they shoot another, and then they get another 5 spots. So that call essentially led to a 6-point play, which is just unbelievable. But the fact that this Timberwolves team was able to beat a good Houston Rockets team, to their credit, and the refs, was fucking insane. So go them. Like I said, 5th straight game without Anthony Edwards, and an amazing 4-1 without him. Should be fucking 5-0. I still can't believe they lost to the Trailblazers at home. Nonetheless, bad loss there. But yeah, that's And then I just saw this here. NBA fines Wolves Nas Reed $50,000 for ref comments. It says the NBA fined him for questioning the integrity of game officials in Minnesota's 110-108 victory over the Rockets on Wednesday. And holy shit, good for him for bringing that up. So yeah, that was the sixth thing we wanted to talk about. Seventh thing was this last week. So not only did they vote on the expansion, it sounds like it's going to happen, but they vote to explore Vegas and Seattle as expansion bids, which is awesome, and what exactly it's going to mean, but that got voted for. But the NBA also presents 3 comprehensive anti-tanking proposals, and I was super excited for this. I thought they were going to be super cool. They're pretty fucking boring. So essentially it says, the first proposal, the bottom 10 teams that missed the play-in tournament and the 8 that qualify for it will be part of the draft lottery. The bottom 10 teams will all have an equal 8% chance of moving up in the lottery, with the remaining 20% of the odds being split amongst the 8 teams in the play-in. Teams descend in descending order from 11th through 18th, and then all 18th spot would be drafted part of the lottery in that format. The second one, the bottom 10 teams that missed the play-in tournament, the 8 teams that qualify for it, and the 4 teams that lose in the first round will all be included in the lottery and will be ranked according to their record across 2 seasons. The last part, weighting the teams by their record across the prior 2 seasons, and that is currently how the WNBA weighs its lottery system as well. And then the third one is it's called a 5x5 method. Doesn't really make sense to me. But it says in this one, the same 18 teams from the first concept, the bottom 10 that missed the play-in, and the 8 that would make it would be entered into a lottery. The teams with the 5 worst records would then all have the same odds, with them descending from there, and it would be a draft lottery for each of the top 5 picks in the draft. After those 5 are selected, it would be another lottery drawing for the remaining 13 teams. So again, I'm happy that they're actually trying to put in place things for getting rid of tanking, but at the same time, these concepts, they will help, but I think they're really boring, and I think they're, quite frankly, pretty stupid, and I wish they'd do something just simple where it's like, hey, look, after the play-in tournament, the teams that make the playoffs versus the teams that don't make it, you all have the exact same odds, and you do it from there. Or you do the one that I talked about a couple weeks ago, where after you're eliminated, your chances of getting the number 1 pick are based off of how many wins you get from the time you're eliminated from the playoffs until the end of the season. I think those are a little bit more fun. They're more engaging because you have teams paying more attention to games and things like that, rather than just like, hey, let's just see how things go and we're robots. So wanted to bring that up because I saw that get added to the NFL or the NBA news. So that came out. So it was announced the NFL season will kick off on Wednesday this upcoming season as the Seahawks to host the opener. So in the brief thing that I read, it says the 2026 NFL schedule won't be released until May, but week 1 is already taking shape, as for the second time in 75 years, the upcoming season will kick off on a Wednesday, and here is why. The winner of the Super Bowl, and as most of you know, but if you don't, the winner of the Super Bowl always generally hosts the Thursday night opener the following season. But the NFL made an exception this year, as the league is putting the Australia game on Thursday, but the NFL still wanted to make sure that the defending champion would officially kick off the season. So the Seahawks were moved to Wednesday. And like I said, over the past 75 years, the NFL has only held 1 Wednesday game in week 1. And that came back in 2012 when the NFL scheduled the Cowboys versus the Giants in a way not to conflict with Obama's acceptance speech at the DNC, I guess. The opener will kick off at 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on NBC, but it is because the 49ers and Rams game will kick off at 10:30 in Australia. It says that means it will actually be airing live at 8:35 p.m. Eastern Standard Time Thursday night in the U.S., as there's a 14-hour time difference. That'll be pretty interesting. Yeah, I gotta say,
And then it says the Seahawks possible opponents. They'll face either the Cardinals, Cowboys, Giants, Bears, Chiefs, Chargers, Patriots. And if I'm being completely honest, if it sounds like with the Australia game, with them doing a Rams 49ers game, with them doing interdivisional games to start the season, if I had to put money on it, I'm guessing it's probably going to be the Cardinals, and I would probably put Cardinals and maybe like Cowboys in my opinion as like the top two to be the opener for that. But yeah, that came up. So for those that maybe didn't see that, I thought we would bring that up for you. And then the last thing we had to talk about, the ninth thing, before we get to our underdog parlay for you guys, is I was reading and I was going through stuff early this morning, and the Vikings have had calls on J.J. McCarthy, and there's a reason I brought this up. So it says there are 3 teams that have already called to check on the availability of J.J. McCarthy, and it's the Pittsburgh Steelers, the Cleveland Browns, and the Arizona Cardinals, weirdly enough. And which is crazy, because the reason I bring this up is because everybody, especially Minnesota Vikings fans, were all up in arms that, gosh, he was so ass, he looked so bad. Oh my gosh, we need to get rid of him. We need to do everything we can to move on from this guy. He had an atrocious rookie season, yada, 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 yada. And I'm bringing this up to prove a point that if J.J. McCarthy was really that bad, and if people around the league, and including the Vikings, really thought J.J. McCarthy was going to just be ass and not do well and fall off a cliff, why would there be teams trying to inquire on him to get him? Now, I understand they may not be inquiring on him to throw him into the fire right away, but if nothing else, they're willing to try to get this quarterback and mold him into a quarterback of the future, which I still believe he could do. Now, Kyler Murray may be great, but let me tell you guys something. I think right now, Friday, March 20th, 9:25 p.m., J.J. McCarthy will be a stud in the National Football League within the next 3 to 5 years. I think he has it. I think if you saw this year, he had so many glimmers of hope. And again, it goes back to a lot of his incompletion were blatant drops by 3 unbelievable receivers and 1 great tight end. And if they catch half of those dropped passes, he's looked at as so much better than he did this year. There's also the fact that he got injured a couple times because he was without a couple of starters. So had he had a helpful O-line, it probably wouldn't have been that bad, and he wouldn't have missed that many games as well. And then the 10th thing we are wrapping up the night with, like we do every other night, is our underdog parlay for you guys. Now, we're obviously doing this Friday. I feel bad. I did this technically last night for you guys on Thursday, but something happened, and when I was trying to upload it to YouTube, there was an error, and I had no idea why. Then I went to Riverside, and I don't know if I did something weird when I was uploading it, or if I stopped, or if I turned my phone off too early, but it never got recorded. So that's why we're re-recording tonight. We're still coming at you guys religiously as best we can Thursday nights, unless we tell you guys differently. But with there being copious amounts of NBA games today and lines not coming out yet for the games tomorrow, we actually have a 4-leg parlay for you guys tomorrow for the Elite 8. So let's get right into that. We will show our parlay for you guys right here. So the first one I like for this one for you guys this week is Bennett Sturtzer from Iowa, higher than 3.5 assists. He's their primary playmaker. He's fit, and he's facing an Illinois tough perimeter defense, including Kylan Boswell. I think he's been forced to be a facilitator in recent games here, and projections actually lead towards him being 4 or 5, which is why I am curious why this line is so low. But I think if Iowa pushes the tempo or is trailing, I think 3.5 assists he may get just in the first half, if I'm being completely honest. The second one comes from that same game, and it's the man I just mentioned, Kylan Boswell for Illinois, to go over 10.5 points. I think Boswell is key scoring guard for the Fighting Illini. Iowa's defense
does have vulnerabilities that allows guards opportunities, and I think Boswell will hit double figures. He's been doing it consistently in big games. Solid volume expects in a potential half-court battle. So I think he should hit this pretty comfortably. And then the last player prop pick I have for this one is Trey Kaufman-Renn for Purdue, higher than I think it was 17.5 points. He's Purdue's leading big man, and he stepped up really, really big in this March Madness tournament for them. Arizona, yes, they have size, but Kaufman-Renn's efficiency inside and rebounding create more than enough scoring chances for himself, and they're likely going to need his production to keep it competitive. So those are the 3 player props I like. And then to just kind of get us some more money, I added on this one, Illinois to win. And this is a $5 bet parlay to win $41.50. Once again, I like Bennett Sturtzer from Iowa, higher than 3.5 assists. Kylan Boswell, higher than 10.5 points. Trey Kaufman-Renn from Purdue, higher than 17.5 points. And then Illinois just to win. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. As always, make sure you go to YouTube and click the subscribe button to get notified when the new episodes come out. Make sure you're also going to Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, wherever you listen to podcasts. Subscribe and get notified of the new episodes as soon as they come out. And make sure, if you're interested in reaching out to us for questions, I love hearing from you guys. Love to get some more questions, get some more people to shout out. And if you want to stay anonymous with us as well, that's totally fine. Just let us know. You can reach out to us. You can email us. You can reach out on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I check everything. Go do that. And make sure you pay attention if you're interested in keeping up to date with the Twins season total. Pay attention extra to Twitter and Instagram. And as always, till next time, meanies.